The call came at 9:47 p.m. My son's voice was shaking. "Dad, I'm at the police station. My stepdad beat me and filed a report on me. They believe him, not me." Something inside me went still. Not rage, not shock, just stillness, like the world held its breath. "Which officer?" "Sergeant Miller." "20 minutes," I told him. "Sit tight." I didn't call a lawyer, didn't call my ex-wife, didn't think. I just reached for the uniform hanging in the corner, creased, pressed, waiting for a war I thought I'd already fought. By the time I walked through those glass doors, the smell of sweat and cheap coffee hit me. Every eye turned. Some knew my face. Others recognized the silence that followed me. Sergeant Miller looked up from his desk, and I saw it. Fear before recognition. "Captain," he stammered, I didn't blink, didn't breathe. "Give me 15 minutes with his stepdad," that's all I said. And that's when his hands started shaking. The story was simple. My ex-wife remarried, a man who smiled too easily, the kind who laughs just loud enough to hide something. He'd been playing father, pretending protector, while I worked double shifts trying to pay for the life he pretended to build. Now he was accusing my son of assaulting him. My son, quiet, obedient, a boy who still apologized to furniture when he bumped into it. The officer's report said aggressive behavior. I read it twice. It felt like reading my own obituary. When I saw my son through the holding cell window, his face was swollen. His eyes avoided mine, like he'd done something wrong. He hadn't. I'd seen those marks before. Controlled strikes, practiced cruelty. The kind that left just enough evidence to make the victim look guilty. The kind men like me were trained to recognize. I didn't shout, didn't demand. I listened. I went home that night and sat in the dark. My uniform still on. The smell of sweat and stale fear still clinging to it. Then I started digging. Call logs, hospital visits, old texts between my ex-wife and her husband. There it was, small, almost invisible. A message from her: "If he touches me again, I'll tell Mark." Mark? Me? She hadn't sent it to me. She'd sent it to him. A warning, a lie turned weapon. And suddenly I saw it all. How he'd played her fear. How she'd hidden his violence because she was too ashamed to admit the mistake. But he'd gone too far. He'd touched my son. I didn't sleep that night, didn't eat. I watched old videos of my boy, his first bike ride, his laugh when I tickled him. And I realized something sharp and cruel. Every monster I'd ever arrested looked ordinary before the cuffs. The next morning, I pulled security footage from the department's database. One of the officers owed me a favor. There it was. Timestamp, 8:12 p.m. My son, standing still in the station lobby, calm, silent. His stepfather walked in behind him, face bruised, self-inflicted. He whispered something to Sergeant Miller. Miller nodded, typed fast, and never looked at the boy again. My son wasn't violent. He was framed by his stepfather and protected by a cop who'd sold his spine for convenience. When I walked into Miller's office the next day, I set the footage on his desk. He didn't even look at it. "Captain, I didn't—" "You did." He didn't move, didn't breathe. His hands trembled as the screen replayed the truth in silence. I didn't raise my voice, didn't threaten. Just let the truth rot the air between us. That night, I visited my ex-wife's house. Her husband opened the door with that same smug smirk. It disappeared when he saw me in uniform. "Mark, look." "I know," I said quietly. "You hit my son. You lied. You made him the monster you are." His throat tightened. He reached for words that wouldn't come. I handed him a folder. Photographs, footage, reports. "This goes to Internal Affairs tomorrow morning. But I thought you should see what your life looks like ending." He opened it. His hands shook. He tried to speak, but I turned away before he could. There's a certain silence only guilt can make. Thick, suffocating, final. I let it drown him. The next morning, I sat in my car outside the station. Sunlight hit the badge on my chest. For the first time, it didn't feel like honor. It felt like armor. My son was home, safe, quiet. He didn't ask what I'd done, and I didn't tell him. Some truths don't heal. They settle, deep, permanent. As I looked in the rearview mirror, I caught my reflection, calm, unreadable, the kind of man I'd spent my career hunting. But this time, the monster wore my face, and I didn't feel a thing.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.